Welcome to Spurs Focus, your go-to spot for daily Tottenham news, transfers, and match updates. Don't forget to support the channel by hitting that subscribe button now. Let's dive into today's top story. Thomas Frank's Tottenham are flying high, but can they keep it up? From Xavi Simons' struggles to the search for a killer number 9, here's what Spurs must fix to stay in the race. It's been a bright start to life at Tottenham for Thomas Frank. The former Brentford boss has introduced a welcome blend of consistency and tactical flexibility aspects that were sorely lacking under Ange Postecoglou last season. 6 wins, 4 draws, and just 1 defeat from their opening 11 games represent a solid return, highlighted by a superb 2-0 win away at Manchester City in August. But after an early surge, Spurs' momentum has eased somewhat. With 3 draws in their last 5 matches, clean sheets have also dried up. Having conceded just once in their opening 4 Premier League matches, Frank's team have leaked 4 goals in their last 3 outings, and 6 in their last 5 in all competitions. Things, however, are generally looking up for Tottenham, but a challenging run of fixtures lies ahead, with home clashes against Chelsea and Manchester United, and tricky away trips to Monaco, Everton, and Newcastle. Frank will need to have everything finely tuned if his side are to navigate this spell successfully. With that in mind, here are 4 key priorities for the Dane as he prepares for the remainder of the campaign. It felt like something of a coup when Tottenham pinched Xavi Simons from under Chelsea's noses in the summer. But while the Dutchman's arrival generated huge excitement, his start in North London has been more steady than spectacular. He hasn't been poor by any means, but nor has he yet justified his £52 million price tag. Part of the issue is that Frank still hasn't figured out where Simons fits best. The 22-year-old, who's notched just 1 goal contribution, an assist against West Ham, in 7 games so far, has been used across multiple roles, as a number. 10, a left winger, and a number. 8, but has struggled to find rhythm or consistency in any of them. Simons is not a like-for-like replacement for James Maddison, the creative heartbeat he has effectively filled in for following the Englishman's ACL injury. Where Maddison thrives on invention and flair, Simons is more of a passing midfielder, one who keeps play moving and knits attacks together rather than producing moments of magic on his own. That's not a flaw, but it does mean he needs the right system and supporting cast to shine, or Frank. The dilemma is clear. Identify Simons' best position and build the structure around him to unlock his potential. Once he settles into a defined role and gains confidence and rhythm, Tottenham could finally begin to see the player who not only dazzled in the academies of Barcelona and PSG, but also lit up the Bundesliga with RB Leipzig last season. If Tottenham are to take the next step under Frank, they need a dependable, ruthless presence at centre-forward. A true number. 9 capable of turning half chances into goals. At the moment, that player simply doesn't exist in this squad. Dominic Solanke has shown flashes of quality, but injuries have disrupted his rhythm and consistency. Richarlison continues to work hard, but remains an enigma in front of goal, while Mathys Tel, though promising, is still more of a long-term project than a reliable week-to-week scorer. Meanwhile, Randall Kolo Muani, on loan from PSG, remains something of an unknown quantity. Once tipped as the next big thing after his breakout at Eintracht Frankfurt, his spell at PSG fell flat following his £64.2 million move to League One, and while his loan at Juventus last season was an improvement, it was hardly spectacular. He's currently sidelined with an injury, which hasn't helped him or Spurs. Between the quartet, there's talent, energy, and potential, but not the kind of relentless finishing that defines top 4 teams. For Spurs to genuinely compete at the sharp end of the table, they need a striker who can deliver 20 or more goals a season. Someone who can turn tight games into wins and lift the team when the performances dip. That's the kind of cutting-edge Harry Kane once provided, and it's what Tottenham have been missing ever since his departure. Kane, who is regularly linked with the return to Spurs, has publicly distanced himself from a Premier League return, yet there will be other options available. For Frank, the task is twofold. Either get one of his current options firing consistently, or identify a striker who can come in and provide that elite output. One potential target is Samu Omorodion, who's been sensational since joining Porto in 2024, netting 24 goals in 37 league appearances. The Spain international, who nearly moved to Chelsea last year, and has been compared to the likes of Didier Drogba and Victor Osimhen, has an £84 million release clause in his contract. That figure might be hefty, but his current form suggests it could well be money well spent. Besides, Hugo Ekitike and Nick Woltemade arrived in England for comparable fees this summer, and both have proven to be smart acquisitions. A move for Omarodian in January might be unrealistic, but there's no reason why the groundwork for a transfer next summer couldn't begin now. Until then, Frank will need to get at least one of his current strikers firing on all cylinders. But if none prove capable of stepping up soon, finding a genuine top-class number 9 must become a priority. Because without one, Tottenham's ceiling will remain frustratingly low. For all of Tottenham's early promise under Frank, one key question still lingers. What is his best midfield? Rotation is healthy and even necessary in a long season, but if Spurs are to build rhythm and cohesion, they'll need more regularity in the centre of the pitch. So far, Frank has chopped and changed his combinations, with João Palhinha, Pape Matar Sarr, Rodrigo Bentancur, Lucas Bergvall, Xavi Simons and Archie Gray, all featuring in various trios and setups. Sometimes it's been a flat 3, other times 2 sitting behind a number. 10. That flexibility is part of Frank's appeal. He's tactically adaptable and unafraid to tweak his shape. But there comes a point when versatility can blur into uncertainty. Palhinha and Bentancur offer a solid, disciplined base, but perhaps lack the creative spark to unlock tight games. Sarr brings energy and drive, while Bergvall and Gray both possess composure and promise. Yet none have truly cemented their place. Then there's the question of Maddison's reintegration, once he returns to full fitness. Does he come back as a pure number 10, or is there room for him in a deeper, more fluid 3? These are all puzzles Frank needs to solve. And soon. The midfield is the heartbeat of any successful side, and while depth is a strength, stability breeds understanding. If Tottenham are to progress from a promising project to a genuinely cohesive unit, Frank will need to identify his go-to trio and give them the time to grow together. Tottenham could really do with making another statement in Europe this season. A strong run in the Champions League wouldn't just boost their reputation, it would re-establish them among the continent's elite, something they've not truly been since Mauricio Pochettino's tenure. The campaign hasn't exactly started with fireworks. A narrow 1-0 win over Villarreal was followed by a flat 2-2 draw with Bodo/Glimt, leaving Spurs with plenty of work to do in the group phase. What they need now is momentum, a string of results to propel them towards the knockout stages and give this side the belief that they belong at that level again. They've already shown they can compete with Europe's best, having come within minutes of beating PSG, their Champions League opponents next month in the Super Cup before the French champions struck twice. Late on, to force a 2-2 draw and win on penalties. Performances like that prove Tottenham have the quality, they just need the consistency. For a young and relatively inexperienced squad, a deep European run could do wonders. It would build confidence and create a winning mentality. Frank's side have shown flashes of quality domestically, but taking that onto the European stage would be a true marker of progress. And with Champions League qualification for next season far from guaranteed, there's every reason to go for it. A confident, fearless approach in Europe could not only transform Tottenham's campaign, but also remind everyone, including themselves, that they're still capable of mixing it with the best. Jed Spence destroys teammate Brennan Johnson after England's 3-0 win over Wales. The Spurs star's savage post has fans going wild. Tottenham Hotspur defender Jed Spence has taken a brutal dig at club teammate Brennan Johnson after England secured a comfortable 3-0 victory over Wales in a friendly at Wembley Stadium. The Three Lions ended the match as a contest inside 20 minutes after a blistering display from Thomas Tuchel's men. Aston Villa duo Morgan Rogers and Ollie Watkins bagged the opening 2 goals inside 11 minutes. The first came thanks to a neat finish from Rogers, while Watkins showed his poacher's instincts at the back post to double the advantage. The result was taken out of all doubt when Arsenal's Bukayo Saka curled home a third for England as Tuchel's side prepared for their next World Cup qualifier against Latvia, which could see them advance to the tournament in the USA, Mexico and Canada. From a Spurs perspective, the result was a mixed one for their players. For Spence, it was a night to remember as he made his first appearance for the England first team at Wembley Stadium. As for Johnson, it was one he would like to forget in a hurry. Sadly for the winger, Spence was not letting him off that easily. Post-match, the defender sent a brutal message to his club teammate, celebrating the result. "Very happy to get my first England start with a great win," he wrote on Instagram. But forget about all that emotional stuff for a second. The post was accompanied by a compilation of images showing Spence in action, including one of him alongside Johnson during the game. He also included a superimposed picture of himself walking Johnson on a leash that was used in the Grand Theft Auto video game franchise. Spence is no stranger to social media antics, and was recently asked about it in a sit-down interview with TNT Sports pundit Peter Crouch. When shown some of his recent activity, including references to the penitentiary, the defender explained that he creates the posts with players that he has a personal friendship with. After the 3-0 Carabao Cup victory over Doncaster Rovers, Spence posted an image of Damola Adjei behind bars. Adjei is currently on loan at the South Yorkshire club from Spurs, and the Tottenham defender admitted that it was merely a joke and not done to cause offence. It has been a great season so far for Spence at Tottenham. In the September international break, the 25-year-old became the first Muslim player to represent England. End of an era at Spurs. Daniel Levy steps down after 25 years, as Tottenham enters a bold new chapter with fresh leadership at the top. Tottenham Hotspur announces that Daniel Levy has today stepped down from his role as executive chairman after nearly 25 years. Tottenham Hotspur has been transformed over the last quarter of a century. It has played in European competitions in the last 18 of 20 seasons, becoming one of the world's most recognised football clubs, consistently investing in its academy, players and facilities, including a new world-class stadium and state-of-the-art training centre. The club has also competed regularly at the highest level, enjoying a number of fantastic on-field successes, including the recent Europa League Cup win. As part of its succession planning, the club has made a number of senior appointments in recent months. Vinay Venkatesham was hired as Chief Executive Officer, CEO, with Thomas Frank as our new men's head coach and Martin Ho as women's head coach. Peter Charrington joined the board and will step into the newly created role of non-executive chairman. This is all part of the club's ambition to ensure that it is set up to deliver long-term sporting success. Daniel Levy said, "I am incredibly proud of the work I have done together with the executive team and all our employees. We have built this club into a global heavyweight competing at the highest level. More than that, we have built a community. I was lucky enough to work with some of the greatest people in this sport, from the team at Lilywhites House and Hotspur Way to all the players and managers over the years. I wish to thank all the fans that have supported me over the years. It hasn't always been an easy journey, but significant progress has been made. I will continue to support this club passionately." Peter Charrington, non-executive chairman, said, "I'm very honoured to become non-executive chairman of this extraordinary club, and on behalf of the board, I would like to thank Daniel and his family for their commitment and loyalty to the club over so many years. This is a new era of leadership for the club, on and off the pitch. I do recognise there has been a lot of change in recent months, as we put in place new foundations for the future. We are now fully focused on stability and empowering our talented people across the club, led by Vinay and his executive team. There are no changes to the ownership or shareholder structure of the club.